So today's topic is embrace your fears, don't get rid of them. We all want to live that life where, you know, we're that one guy who's just not afraid of anything. You know, that movie where that guy he walks into a room, 30 armed men and takes them all one by one or whatever, has no fear. John Wick, we all need it because the fear is what keeps us alive. The fear is what rationalizes us into saying, this is real. This is something real that I'm going for. This is something real that I'm going to attack. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean you're a coward. Doesn't mean you're scared. A coward is someone who fears fear and allows the fear to take over. A person who is brave is someone who feels fear, and regardless of how they feel, they can be scared to death and they're still going to go out of their way to achieve their goals, to push forward. We all need it. We all need it in life. So if you ever been nervous before a recital or before a performance or before anything, that's good, because that's what's going to keep you on your toes. That's what's going to keep you to push yourself into going into the next level in your life. And I would argue it makes you better. It makes you more aware. It makes you realize that you could lose. It could lose. It keeps you humble. You could lose. So, and always, always, always think about this. Without fear, what opportunity do you have to show the world that you're brave? You can't be brave if you don't overcome something. You can't be brave if you're not overcoming something. That's the whole point of being brave. If I didn't feel fear, there's no point of me being brave, you know? So whenever you feel something in your life where it's big enough in your life, it's a big enough stake in your life where you feel fear and you feel the nervousness and you feel uneasy, that's when you should tap in. That's when you realize this is where good things happen. I've always ran from fear my whole life. And it's always been something that's always been a negative aspect of my life, because whenever things got too big or too rough and you're chasing goals, whatever it is, how big your goals are, there's always a fear in there because there's something you've never done before, something you're either you're scared of failing, you're looking at all the possibilities of how things could go wrong, how things might go wrong, might not go wrong, and your brain is so wired for survival, it's so wired for making it to the next day, that when you do something that's scary, it you internalize it times 10. It feels way bigger than it actually is because your brain is trying to scare you away from doing that. It's something it's not familiar with. The fear keeps us from it. We learn fear very young as a kid. You know, we learn it. You touch a hot stove when you're a kid, you learn it's hot. The next time you go to touch the hot stove, you already know it's hot. We learn it. We learn fear. But we grow up as an adult. We learn, okay, how to cook. We learn how to use the stove. We learn how to rationalize that fear and turn it into something good. We've been doing it our whole lives. We just don't know it yet. So whenever you're doing something that scares you, whenever you're doing something that is not something you're used to, and your brain is trying to tell you to run into the opposite direction, to run into to go somewhere else, that's when you should lean further. Fear is there to help to guide you. It's not there to prevent you. It acts as two different weapons, right? So people who feel fear, right? And they go, well, this is too much. I can't do this. I don't want to do this. And they let the fear take over. And they end up regretting it their whole life. And they let the fear dictate their every single action, every single step of their life. They let fear take over everything. Or they do the opposite. You can't be brave without fear. It's impossible. It's just you cannot call yourself a brave person without fear. You know? Do you think if we're talking about animals real quick, which is more of which animal do you think is the better animal, right? Would you think the worm is the better animal, or would you think a lion is the better animal, right? The worm doesn't have the opportunity to feel fear. It can't be brave. So, can you call it good? Can you call a worm good? No, you can't. Because it doesn't have any other choice. If I'm in a room with a lion,